Hey guys, I'm Greg Bennett, and I want to start with an apology for whatever's going on top of my head. I haven't had a haircut in 45 days, but that doesn't matter because we're here today raising money for COVID-19 relief. And before we get started, I just want to remind you that you can help by clicking the link in the description below or going to cameo.com, where all purchases are going towards COVID-19 relief charities. So I am here today with four newly minted reality TV legends. They are trendsetters because they have made quarantining like a cool thing to do long before the rest of the world was doing it. And as you can tell by my background, we're going back to the pods today to talk all about season 1 of Netflix's Love is Blind. We've got Amber and Barnett, Mark and Kelly. What's going on, guys? How are you?
What up? What up?
Hi. Your
How's
background
everyone
is
doing?
giving us PTSD, man.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I wanted to get in the theme of the Q&A here. How's everyone feeling? Stuck inside? Good? Bad? Whatever?
Day by day. Day by day is definitely been the motto.
Awesome company.
Yeah.
Well, I want to start with a really, really important question for all of you, and we can go down the line one by one and answer it. But would you say that you guys drank more in the pods or have drank more at your homes over the past few weeks? Let's start with Amber and Barnett.
I'm going to say in the pod because I was trying to numb my emotions sometimes.
Okay, that's fair.
We could tell.
And it was free.
Yeah, it was
It
free.
was free there. Got it.
I think I'm gonna second that. I think I drank a lot more when we were in the pods, just because it was really. I don't know about the guy side, but I know especially when the girls first got there, it was like a hangout, and we were just there was an open bar, and we were just morning mimosas, and then wine in the afternoon, sangrias and stuff. Like we were just chilling.
The pods had shots of the little bottles.
Okay.
And the little wine bottles.
The wine shooters. Little wine shooters.
And it
All
is
right.
down here, but I feel like quarantine is doing the opposite. We started kind of drinking a little bit, and it's like progressing more.
Yeah.
We're doing the opposite.
Yeah, Kelly, what about you? Are you hanging in there? Are you drinking as much as the pods, or less, or more? What's going on?
I would say I may have been one of the more sober ones in the pods.
Okay.
I didn't drink very much
Fair.
pods. I was trying to be like really focused and in it, and like not forget conversations. So I was trying not to. So yeah, I would say I have drank more now, like outside of.
Got it.
But
And,
yeah, I live alone, so like I have to have like FaceTime happy hours a lot.
I hear you. And Mark, we just did a shot before this started, so I think I know the answer that you're going to say.
Well, yeah. Actually, what's funny, I think I drank a little bit more in the pods because I've been doing all these live workouts. Like, there's not really much room to drink all these beers or even take all these shots. So, but whenever I'm with this crew of people, I'm like, oh hell yeah, let's do a shot together. So.
I love it.
Did you finish that whole pack of White Claws?
Dude, right after I worked out, then I shotgunned a few. Then I was like, all right, we're good.
Wait, what was the last drink that we had to get on the show was Mike's Hard. I feel like I should have a Mike's Hard with you right now, but I don't have it.
We did. I remember that.
Shoot.
All right.
You inspired me to use my Bush 30 racks for lifting weights.
Right,
Yeah, I
Greg,
just keep waiting for the box to rip and him to just drop beer all over the entire apartment.
Oh, so Barnett, you've been doing home workouts with 30 racks? Is that what you just said?
I've been trying.
Creative. I salute that creativity. I have just been trying to do sit-ups, and it's kind of mixed results. I want to talk about like the first day you guys got to the pods, and you got your speech from Vanessa and obviously Nick Lachey, and then from there you hit the ground running. You started dating. How many dates did you guys go on a day?
Everybody on the first one.
First
The
day was 15.
was 15, yeah.
The first day you dated everybody. It was like speed dating. Yeah,
It was the longest day ever, but also so short.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so drained after that day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So how long, like Mark, when you would go into a date, if you knew that somebody was not for you, would you just like cut it off, or would you guys like say like, okay, thanks but no thanks, or like how did that work, or did you just politely wait for them?
The thing about the first day, it was like speed dating, right? So you only had 7 minutes, and then so you're dating everybody, and then at the end of the day, after you've dated everybody, you rank them. So from like 1 to 15. So based on like how you rank them, the following days after that, then they would kind of come up with like a schedule to like, okay, you're gonna see this person, or like, well, you kind of still didn't know until a certain point like who you're gonna see. But yeah, they would like kind of like bring them in, and based on like how they ranked you and how you ranked them, that's how you would like end up seeing. So if a date didn't go well and you ranked them, say like number 15, and then they ranked you 15, you're probably not going to see them again.
Yeah. Right.
You still might, because I still my number 15.
Yeah, you still might see them.
Hey, I ended up with a second date with Carlton, and he walked out on me. So you never know, honestly.
That's true. All right, I have like a really like, it's like a burning question that I could never figure it out. You guys were always like, the girls and the guys, you guys got really close while you were separated, and then as the show progressed and certain people didn't match, they just like disappeared. Like, remember the Virgin? He was just gone one day, and was there like a trap door, or was there like, did you guys watch them pack their bags and leave? Like, how did that work? Did you get to say goodbye, or were they just gone like the next morning?
You're just gone.
Is this question specifically about the Virgin, or the people that just?
No, not the Virgin. I was using him as an example, but like,
I was gonna say,
I mean,
Taylor was actually there until the very end. Taylor got to propose to somebody. Mark.
Yeah, he actually, a lot of people didn't get to see that. Taylor, like, after whatever, me and Barnett were cool, like, the whole time. So that's why I was, like, confused. And then the whole thing after that was really, like, them putting Taylor, like, against me to talk to Jess, and then, like, all that stuff. So he actually had, like, a lot more than, like, he actually got shown. But, it is what it is. But what happened with a lot of folks.
He had the crazy story arc himself. So he had a
dude, he cried so much. I love that guy. He cried so much. He was going through so much.
He did. He came in with his chest puffed up. I love Taylor. He came in with his chest puffed up, and then like everybody, it was like so. Like, what was funny about the guy's side, I felt like there was so much vulnerability that when a guy would pop out, it'd be like all like, especially after an interview or stuff like that, we'd be like, yo, dude, are you okay? Like, what's up, man? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our feelings, bro.
There's a lot of feelings in the guy's side.
Yeah. No, it was actually, there was one day specifically, I think a lot of the people kind of left mass exodus, and we all came back from dates, and I know on the girl side, we were all really confused. We're like, where is everybody? And they're like, oh, well, they haven't made matches, so they got to go home. And we're like, wait, what? Like, we don't get to say goodbye? Like,
oh, wow.
Happened?
Disappeared.
They just disappeared. And then after that, I know on the girl side, there was one really, like, heartfelt, like, tearful goodbye is when Brianna decided, she wasn't feeling the connection with anybody and wasn't feeling like anybody was feeling her. So she was just like, I'm going to take control of the situation. And she's like, I'm done. I'm leaving. And it was so tearful. Like, honestly, it was a really sad, sad day.
Wow.
So there were some people that just chose like because they weren't feeling it, which was heartbreaking because I just wanted them to hang out with us more.
To piggyback on that, like, Amber, you're right. Like, it really was. I was laying on the couch, and there were guys in the pods, and then I was like, wait, why am I the only one laying up? Like, where is everybody? And then all of a sudden, like, they bring all the guys in, and they're like, hey, by the way, so we sent home, like, 5 dudes. So just to let you guys know, like, time to get serious about all this. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, this just got real.
That was a pretty intense day.
Day of reckoning.
I think that was the day everybody really started taking things more seriously because we're like, oh, crap, like, we're really cutting it down. We're not just hanging out anymore. Like, this is intense.
Yeah.
I started drinking less that day. Still drank, not that much.
You needed to have
day
your wits
one.
about you.
Yeah.
Last day.
The first day we were like beer pong after we filmed and stuff.
Like I said, first day was
like, y'all gotta go home.
and it just dropped. We all started taking it way more seriously.
It's like the opposite of quarantine, right? Like, you started day one of quarantine really like, oh, I'll have a beer, and now you're like shots before your Cameo interview. All right, so Amber and Matt, I have a question for you guys. First, congratulations. You guys were married, what, like 2 years now? Major. What was it like filming the show and then going back to your life and waiting like a year and a half before it aired? Did you like have to keep it a secret? Did you go out in disguise? Were you afraid like Uncle Netflix was watching your Instagrams and making sure that you weren't posting about it? Like, how did that work?
So yes, Uncle Netflix was watching creepily, and no, like we had to make sure we weren't posting anything with like our rings in it, or well, I'm wearing a weird ring, but our rings are, you know, anything with us together. Our friends and family like couldn't post pictures with us and stuff, but they knew we were married. But really, I mean, outside of social media, like we were just living our normal life. Like we kind of like forgot about, like we didn't forget about you know, the filming and shit because it was so ridiculous and life changing, obviously. But like, I don't know.
I think after a while, we kind of just got used to not being a couple on social media and just being a couple in the real world and embracing it that way. And I think after a while, we just sort of got so used to like not posting anything on social media that we were just like, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
We have we got a Polaroid camera.
I take a lot of Polaroid pictures.
She took a lot of pictures with the Polaroid, so we'd have like a book.
Honestly, God,
like your first year together.
It's my favorite Christmas present that anybody has ever got me. It was so thoughtful, and I was so excited when I got it. I started taking pictures that morning. And every time after that, we would travel somewhere or go to a family event, I would take a Polaroid to remember the moment instead of blasting about it on social media. I have my own little Polaroid album of our memories.
I love that
album.
That's awesome.
You guys will never see it. there's an X-rated section. So.
Kelly and Mark can come over for a wine night and they can look
for the
oh my God, got me here, Matt. Oh my gosh.
So do you got
the ones that are black?
I don't have anything. I don't know what he's talking about.
So do you guys think you'll have like another wedding, like a bigger one, like a non-TV one once this is all over and
absolutely
put those Polaroids on display?
We talked about that before the show actually even happened, because it was so fast, and there were a lot of things like we're from the South.
We got married on a Tuesday.
Yeah, they're traditionally
an inexpensive day to get married.
Yeah, our friends and family had last minute notice, 2 weeks to get off on a Tuesday. Half the people couldn't come, so we are definitely going to be redoing, at the very least, a small ceremony and then a big reception. Awesome. So that everybody can celebrate with us. Like, we're thinking like maybe a 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
5 years.
Okay.
That sounds good. We
awesome.
Plan now.
Yeah, you have plenty of time to plan, right? Kelly, so we saw you match with Kenny, and obviously it didn't work out in the end. But do you guys? The show kept it kind of open-ended. Are you guys still in touch at all? Are you friends? Is it cool? Is it not cool?
Yeah, we are. We're totally cool. Like he actually lives in Charlotte now and has a girlfriend. But when we met up for like the reunion show, totally just, I think we both at that point even just kind of talked about the filming again, and kind of not rehashed anything, but just communicated as effective as we did back then again, and just like, hey, like we knew what happened, what was produced, blah, 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 whatever, all that stuff. So, no, but we're friends. We have nothing but respect for each other, and, but we're, I don't, it's not like I'm reaching out to him. He has a girlfriend. Like, I'm not gonna.
Good. Got it. Amen.
For that relationship, for sure.
People don't understand how amicable we all actually are. Like, yeah, we all get along fairly well.
Well, yeah, you guys all went through this crazy thing together. I'm sure you have like at least a group chat, right? Like absolutely. A group text that everyone can like check in on each other.
Pod squad.
That group chat gets crazy sometimes. I had to mute it and just check back in on it every once in a while because y'all be watching. Y'all are nuts.
Mark, so you were given a gift as a contestant on a reality dating show. That gift's name was Jessica. She was so wild and so over the top that You came out smelling like a rose, and I think the whole world loved you after this whole experience. How did your dating life change when all of this aired and everybody got to see it?
First off, that was so well put, because I'm like, what is he talking about, a gift? I was like, where is he going with this? I mean, no, it was an experience of a lifetime to me. I learned a lot about communication, setting boundaries, like really understanding like what I want and what I look for in like a romantic partner, like something like that. But it also helped me in like my friendships and relationships. So honestly, to be honest, like it was a gift, like that whole experience. So that's why even to this day, I'm like, I'm not mad. Like, did the situation, like, was it great? Obviously not, but like to this day, like I'm not gonna be mad at it, So it was good. I think now, like, I'm very upfront with my intentions and what I look for, and I'm kind of like set those standards from the beginning. So it's not like, I think I'm thankful for that whole situation for that.
Yeah. Has she reached out to you since the reunion?
We were cool for a little while after the reunion, but she's busy, I'm busy, and we both told each other, like, if we ever need each other, then like we'll reach out or something like that. But she's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah. Amber, has she reached out to you since the reunion? Silence. Okay, great.
Next question, please.
All right.
I didn't
another shot
for the reunion, and I didn't hear from her after the reunion. So take from that what you will.
Okay. All right. Kelly and Mark, would you guys do season 2 since you didn't find love in season 1?
Kelly, you want to go?
Someone asked me this question the other day. I don't think so, because I already know like what, like, like I already know what the concept is and everything, and I feel like I want to give that gift to someone else, because it really was like such a transformative thing, I think, for each of us. Like, we just learned a lot about ourselves, so it's like I could give that to someone else. Let them learn about themselves and go through that journey.
You've learned enough about yourself for one life.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty open to it. I don't mind. I mean,
okay.
No, it's like I said, I think with each experience you gain more like experience and knowledge. And for me, like, I wouldn't go, like, again, I'm older now. I'm not 24 anymore, in case anybody's wondering. So
wait, you're not 24.
Like 26 now.
Yeah, so I'm 26. So, I've learned a lot within these past 2 years since the show was first filmed and everything like that, even after the fact, like when it came out. So I think even if I were to do it now, they're not banging on my door to be like, hey, Mark, we need you on season 2. But like, if they were like, hey, dude, like, you want to try it out? I'm like, why not? Like, I learned so much more about it, and especially like what we went through, that I think a second go around wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Mark, you're from Chicago too.
I'm doing it. I wouldn't say no to it. I just, someone else can have the chance.
Someone else can have the gift. All right,
yeah.
That's fair. So what advice would each of you give to anybody who is thinking about throwing their hat in the ring and trying to get on the next season? Let's start with Amber.
I was gonna say, I got a bad rap for a lot of things that I've said or felt or thought. And I will say a lot of it was taken out of context, but I never lied. So if you want to be on the show, at least be honest with yourself about who you are and what you want, and don't be ashamed of it.
That's why I love her.
Who you are. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't try to sell yourself. Be honest.
Amen.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm afraid of the next season, because I think people might go on it because they've seen the first season and know what to expect and kind of see that and not be genuine people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that you have to be a genuine person to be on there. You can't go on there and lie to yourself and lie to everybody else. And
scary.
it worked.
It's scary already trying to be genuine when you're in front of a bunch of cameras. So that already takes a huge amount of courage. And everybody that we were on there with, I feel like it took us all at least a couple of days to really get comfortable and start opening up in front of the cameras. And that was a challenge in and of itself. So I can just imagine people knowing what to expect and knowing what kind of questions will be able to finagle their way through. And they're going to lose a beautiful opportunity. They're going to lose a beautiful opportunity to be able to connect with people the way that we did. Yeah. Instead of opening up, they're trying to manipulate a situation. And that's kind of you know, it's scary about there being another season, but also, you know, that's the point of what we did, is to take a shot in the dark and see what happens.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Well, I think if somebody went on there for the next season and started acting really messy, the rest of the world would probably love that. So maybe they don't take your advice, and
the world loves
we all benefit from it. Kelly, any advice from you?
I mean, I would say, yeah, be really true to yourself. I know something personally with me, like I kind of freaked out like right before going into it. Like, oh my God, like I don't have like a good wardrobe. I didn't like, I don't know, like little like stupid, silly girl insecurities started like popping up. And granted, I wasn't like, you know, secure with myself at that point either. So it's just more or less like, don't worry about it. Just be yourself. Like what they were saying. Like, who cares if you have like the nicest things or whatever? Like I really was like in an insecure spot at that point. And so that's what I would share with people, is just be you. And that's who someone's going to fall in love with anyways, is when you're yourself. So old clothes or new clothes or whatever.
Holy sweatpants.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. Yes. Be real. Just be real. Be honest with yourself and open up. Be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable. If you're not, like, you're not going to make those connections either. So gotta open up.
Yeah. Mark, what about you? Any wise words of wisdom for everybody watching? They wanted to throw their hat in the ring.
Yeah, for sure. What I would say, especially during this time while we're all sitting at home and like, you know, there's obviously no production going around, but if you have applied or are thinking about applying, like, I strongly recommend that people take this time to like think about what they look for in a partner, set what their boundaries are, their standards, like what are their like non-negotiables, like what are their values, principles, like stuff like that is really important. So that way, you know, because vulnerability without direction, in my opinion, you're just vulnerable, and now it just turns into therapy as opposed to like building a romantic connection. So I really think that like if you really understand like what your boundaries more like these are things that I didn't know going in, so I became vulnerable and then I figured it out along the way of what I do want. And so what I would say for the next person that does it, it's like take this time, like what do you genuinely want, because your needs are important, and then like you can kind of clear that out when you go into this and go into these blind dates, because again, you're not going to see them, so you have to make sure that their values match with yours, you know.
So I just want to say something else about that, is that a lot of people think that they know what they want. So for people that want to be on this show that have never been in love before, have never experienced heartbreak before, I feel like that's something that just comes with time, as you figure out not just what you want, but what you end up needing in a relationship. And that's something that you don't always know about yourself, but maybe other people will recognize about you. So before you go on the show and like you make your wish list of the perfect person, it might be a good idea to ask people around you, like, hey, what kind of person do you think would be good for me? Like, who should I keep my eye out for that I don't already? Like, because I know there are some things about Matt that weren't on my checklist. Crazy about him. He annoys the crap out of me, but also there are a lot of my friends that are like, no, he's just right for you. He suits you. Like, he's what you need. So it's I agree. If you go on the show, you have to know not just what you want, but what, from an outsider's perspective, what you need that you don't realize.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with that. Yeah, no, and it's more so of like, it's not like set in stone things that you need. It's more so of like, these are what mean the most to me. And then like, instead of forcing someone to fit that mold, it's like you talk to everybody else. All right, this is what works with me. This is my balance. But I agree with Amber. Like, that's something that definitely need to talk to other folks about.
Yeah, I agree.
That was some great advice, guys. You guys are wise.
We went through it. All right, we went through it. We got put through the ringer through all this.
Yeah, you really did.
Things right sometimes, you guys. I say it right sometimes. Not always, but sometimes I get it right.
Way to go.
Sometimes.
So we have like a few minutes left. We'll do one last question, one word for each of you to describe your experience on Love is Blind. Mark, let's start with you.
Oh, great.
It's only one word.
Really? Damn it. Wow. Let's see. Really quick. One word. I would say Enlightening.
Okay.
Because just like what I said before, it's just something that like I really realize a lot about myself in terms of who I want to be in a relationship and things I need and want. And like I said, takes a village, and things I learned, I'm pretty enlightened from it.
I love it. Kelly, how about you?
I'd say vulnerable. I was very vulnerable from a very beginning stage on, and I feel like my vulnerability allowed others to open up quicker too with me and be more vulnerable too. Mm-hmm.
All right. And Barnett, how about you? Wait, what was it?
Pass.
Get out of here.
Pass. Okay.
You go, and I'll go later. Yeah.
All right, Amber, you go first, and then Barnett can go.
Me first. I'm the leader here, obviously.
She's the boss.
I would say multifaceted, because people say love is blind, but also there was a lot more to the connection that we made than just the blind connections. Obviously, physicality had a lot to do with it. So it was multifaceted. It was more complicated than anybody could see.
Okay.
Amen.
Barnett, are you still passing, or have you figured out one single word?
My word was pass. No, wait. Surreal? Is that a good word? I don't know. I'm
That's
not
a great word. I love it.
She has like a very broad understanding of the dictionary. She knows better words than me.
I know
Surreal, because I mean, it was life changing, and like it was kind of like it's like a distant memory, and something that like was this big thing in my past that just is, I don't know, still affecting.
Incomprehensible.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. There we go.
It's incomprehensible.
Okay.
You're good.
Incomprehensible.
Gooder with
a great way to end this little chat. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I am a huge fan. So thank you for taking the time to hang out. I want to remind everybody watching that all of this is for COVID relief, and you can donate by clicking the link in the description below or heading to cameo.com and making a purchase. All purchases are going towards COVID relief this weekend. Next up, we have even more reality TV legends. It's like my version of the Avengers. We have Dorinda, Old Countess Lou, friend of Vicky Gumbelson, Cameron Westcott, and Margaret Josephs. All the Real Housewives legends coming to you live next. Stay tuned to Cameo Cares live stream and stay inside. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.